Hello, hello people, welcome on in. Hey Dinyamo. So this is kind of a secret of the stream. So the way it works is I have kwin, so KDE Wayland compositor running inside Sway, and then I'm running my program inside of that Wayland compositor. So I'm running Sway, Sway runs kwin, and kwin runs my application. That's why I have that. Ooh. And you see Kevin has this crazy stuff with cursors. That's so cool. I like that. This is like, I think OG macOS has that too. This is so funny. Oh, what? And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's so fucking stupid. That's not what you were referring. Oh, what were you referring to? One title bar with two sub layouts. Oh, you mean this on top of that? You mean you mean that? Or what you mean? Or to the bottom. So yeah, I guess you gotta clarify. And that's so ridiculous. The current tab has a horizontal layout on the left and vertical on the right. I mean, this is just how i3 and Sway work. It's a manual tiling manager. You can subdivide it in any way you want. So I have it in tabbed layout, and I can arbitrarily subdivide it, right? So if I go to some kind of empty, or if I go to some like empty layout, I can open a window, right? I can open another window, I can open, right? Windows open like to the right of each other. But I can, for example, press Windows T, and now if you pay attention, you can see that the border on the bottom is kinda a bit thicker. So the next window I open will be at the bottom here. And if I press Windows W, then this kind of subdivision becomes tabbed like this. You see, so tab 1, and here's like tab 0, right? So I have like a window and then a tabbed layout next to it. So it's just the way this particular window manager works. It just lets you have this kind of control. You can have like arbitrary trees in the way you want. And so you can have this, but then this can be like that, right? Hey Dandy, hello, hello, welcome to the stream. True. You're right, but we will try our best. And then I can take the top one and turn it into a tab, right? So the bottom one is split like that and top one has tabs, right? So no tab, then this is no tab, right? So I can open each tab here, but here I have tabs on top. So it's just like, just kind of what you can do. But yeah, I had to install Kwin because Sway apparently doesn't support protocol we're trying to implement. It's kind of funny. So we will be using Kwin to implement that. You can do that too, right? It's called stacked layout. So if you do, I think it's S. If you use S, yeah, then you can have them stacked like that. I just almost never use it. So it's a choice. Right, so what is happening, right? So when we resize our window, it kind of flickers. It's not as noticeable if I run it under Sway, but it's still kind of, you see, right? It's just jittering all over the place. So in order to avoid that, we need to synchronize our kind of resizing event with the compositor/window manager. And to do that, yesterday we started implementing a protocol that's called Xsync. And also yesterday we figured out that it's just straight up not supported by Sway. Ooh. So yeah, we are using Kwin now to kind of debug it. And I've also did a little bit of research off stream with help of Ilionte. I've asked question on Hyperland GitHub, and Hyperland doesn't support it either. And Vaxery said that he would rather not support it at all, because he's like, he doesn't want to add unnecessary how do you call it, unnecessary X11 stuff. So yeah, which actually leaves us, I think, with only two well-known compositors that support like smooth resizing of X11 applications, KD and GNOME, and I don't even know if GNOME supports that. I think so. I don't know what X11 satellite is, but this support for this extension only got landed into X11 in October of 2024. Rootless X11 integration to any Wayland compositor. Implementing, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we can briefly search, right? So if I search for netwm sync request, I think that's what it's called, right? So where is it? Yeah, so if I search for this symbol in the repository, here you can see that apparently no. Let me put it here. You see there's zero mentions of this particular client message. And maybe if I search for like Xsync, also 0. So probably not. Because again, it only landed into the server itself in the October. So I wouldn't be surprised if clients didn't really catch up, right? Hey Predict, thank you for the good luck, have fun. I appreciate it. So yeah, I guess we will continue doing what we did, and I will open SDL source that we were referencing yesterday. It uses libx11, but it's okay. We will just translate it to libxkb. Where was the... I wouldn't consider this unnecessary. Classic Vaxery. Hey Doomka, hello, welcome. Yeah, we're just starting. Hey Mr. Linus, meow. Welcome. Unnecessary? I mean, it is not necessary for X applications to work. by definition. Yes, resizing is jittery, but I mean, resizing, you can't really call that an essential for application to be able to run, you know what I mean? Now, Sway also doesn't support it, for example. So, yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. Vaxery is an X11 hater, and I know it took people a lot of time and effort to make him implement drag and drop support for X11 apps. So I know exactly what you mean. I just don't think this particular case applies. if that makes sense. Anyway, so I also need to open the protocol itself because I read it yesterday and I already like completely forgot. I'm pretty sure X11 clipboard is still broken for some people in some cases in Hyperland. Well, if clipboard is broken, that's a completely different issue, you know? I mean, clipboard is super annoying on X. So yeah, it's garbage to implement. I know that because I actually implemented X11 clipboard once. There are a bunch of corner cases you need to be aware of. It's like not even funny. I mean, so on like a human level, I completely relate to Vaxery that he just doesn't want to, you know, touch X11 steaming pile of garbage with a 6 feet pole. So on a human level, I understand it. On a level of, you know, you're making a product for users, I'm trying to implement this protocol even though it's super niche. Right? I mean, usually Linux people, they aren't used to this sort of quality. Because Linux users are generally shit eaters and they would like eat this and ask for more. So yeah. It's just, you know, we kind of come from different cultures, I guess. But I definitely understand that on a human level. And also because he, you know, naively thinks that X11 will like die in 2 years. And nobody will use X11 apps anyway, which is, you know, wishful thinking. I don't think the protocol actually describes a flow. It just enumerates kind of the functions and the... Yeah. Could you explain why your app flickers black instead of just stuttering like other stuff? Yes, it's actually pretty easy. When you create your window initially, where is it? when you create your window, you assign it a value mask. And in this value mask, one of the properties is back pixel. And my back pixel is set to black, just hard-coded to black. And when you do that and you don't specify gravity explicitly, you see it's kind of commented out, what the X server does is each time you resize, it would first clear the entire window to your default background color, which in my case is black. And only then it will present the window for repainting. That's why in my case it flickers with black. I will change it later to support a background color, like an explicit one. I already accept it as a parameter. So where is it? No, this is like a display. Yeah, I already support it as a parameter here. I just don't handle it yet. But if you're asking why it stutters for other people, I mean, well, they maybe do like... It also kind of depends on the server implementation. For example, if people use libx11 with glx and you initialize the window with glx, then instead of clearing the window to black, it will do like an OpenGL stuff instead under the hood, like the server itself. So it will not clear the background. It will just, I think it will just swap buffers or some shit. So instead of clearing the foreground and clearing the window, it will just, I don't know, like do a lot of repaints. And it's naturally slow, so it will stutter. That's at least my kind of intuition. Hey Rookie, I'm learning some bleeding edge tech and looking at the amount of documentation you Linux developer have available. Here makes me cry. This is actually not a lot of documentation at all. I would even say this is very low documentation. This is just spec. That doesn't really tell me anything about how I need to implement it. Because you just use this generic extension to implement a particular feature. Steam just renders last frame from top left and the rest when upsizing is black. Yeah. There's also like gravity stuff that you can assign, but this makes X11 program crash if you have too many events. If you have too much events, then your program will crash because it's some X server bug. So I would rather not touch the gravity. And maybe like Steam has something like northeast or some shit. I don't know. Can I like recompile it? Yeah. And see, it just breaks. It can't even run. Because as soon as you enable any sort of gravity but the default one, just poops itself. So yeah, I just don't do gravity at all because it's very... you just can't rely on it. Oh. Ah, right, yeah. Because I'm running it under Emacs. Bro. Oh, here you go. Hello. And also some implementations make it a bit so some X11 implementations, they just send less resizing events. So for example, you can see that Kevin, it flickers, but like not that much. It kind of jitters, I would say more than flickers, right? But if I run it in Sway, so let me open the other one. Here I open it in this way. It doesn't. You see how it flickers way more, because Sway will send way more resizing events, while Kwin kind of batches them a little bit. So you kind of see how different the implementations are. So it also depends on where you're running the program. Hey Tool, hello. Let me close that. All right. So sync request. I think this one is handled already. I'm pretty sure. Right, so if sync request, we get the window and we assign the resize ID to the correct one. Yeah, like here. Yeah. I mean, maybe. Well, I actually don't think so, because Kwin implements proper synchronization protocol. They maybe batch some resizing just to ease a load on the client. You know, they might have experimented with some defaults and landed on one of them, but they definitely implement the proper protocol. So now my program flickers because I don't implement this protocol, and this is what I'm doing kind of right now. 2.3 resize in progress files. No xcb sync resize in progress files. Excuse me. Right. And then we do the handle configure. When we set resize in progress to true. So we get configure notify. Yeah, I set it to true. Yep. And I think we also need to... What's that? Set counter. Oh right, this is the initial one. I think. Let's check it out. Put image. Wait, no. Update window frame buffer. Handle present. Spent 3 hours going through chat logs from an ex-girlfriend from 6 years. What the fuck? Are you trying to get back together, or is it just like, oh, you know, you're not together but you're still friends? Как погода в Сербии? Oh, she's there. Holy shit. I mean, I guess I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's actually kind of sad. So the way you say it is like this, because of the cases. Overdose after we broke up. I mean, I'm laughing, but this is like nervous laugh. It's not like funny or anything. It's actually kind of fucked up. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, it's not your fault, right? Like, it is what it is. But that's awful, yeah. Frame buffer. Where is it getting called? Ah, this is just function pointers. Update Windows Surface Rect. Rect. Correct. I see. So it's getting called somewhere in like... Yeah, so this actually needs for synchronization. So we need to call that somewhere after we swap buffers. And what happens is that yeah, if resize in progress we return, otherwise we set the counter with the resize ID, and then we drop them. Yep. Let's check where resize is getting set. So this is one of them. It's in handle present. Right, then here, this is on init, I think. It's on handle sync request. Okay, it's on handle sync request. You set it to false. Then on handle configure, you actually set it to true. But then you need to set it back to false. So you set it to false on init, and you set it to false on handle sync request. And handle sync request only happens during the event loop, when you get the client message. Yay. Yeah, I capitalized it just to emphasize. Yes, tool. It's not actually like that. It's also kind of getting warmer in Serbia. Yeah, it's over 20 now. I also had a pull request somewhere with the implementation of this protocol. Where was it? Update X-Sync code to match conventions. And wait a second. Where's the history? How do you get? Yes. There was some like Russian dude from Yandex who implemented this initially. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. Can I hide this? No? Oh, I can sort of squish it a little bit. And so the way it's implemented is that... So it calls handle configure on configure notify. I did that. It handles sync request on the client one, and it's also calling present on update window frame buffer. Yeah. And it also calls OpenGL message box. Wait, no, this is wrong. So X11 frame buffer. This is software rendering implementation. This is like put X image protocol implementation. And this is an OpenGL one. So what I don't really understand is where the fuck where the fuck does it stop resizing? Because so what is confusing me is that this is an H file. What's confusing me is that if resize is in progress, you return. But who finalizes the resize? Like, this is where you kind of set it to false, but it's only getting set when you get the new resize event. So you get new resize event, you set it to false, then you get the configure. So this is init, initialized, init. You get the client message, you set it to false, you start resizing, Then you get configure notify, and you set it actually to true. So now it's set to true. And like, is this WoW music? Yeah, it is. It is. Very subtle, I know. But I don't know who finalizes it, because then you handle present, and in handling present is just literally early return. So, and it only gets set to false when there's new resize request. Xsync set counter. Actually never played WoW. I like the OST though. I've never played WoW in my entire life. You've never gambled. I mean, yeah, probably like waste of time. So yeah. How's this? If counter is none or no. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. If not in progress. If not in progress, then we return. Okay, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. If this is literally not initialized, we return in here. Otherwise, we set the counter and we do that. Alright, okay. Yeah. My brain just literally skipped over not equals because of this fucking open parentheses. Too much punctuation and my brain just... My ADHD-induced brain just skipped over it. And because I'm not really used to reading C, right? Or rather, I'm not in the reading C mode. Because in JavaScript it would look exactly the same. Actually not, in JavaScript you would not wrap it in a second set of parentheses. But yeah, I digress. Right, this all makes sense. We literally call that after we are done with resizing. And this should probably be all. Now we need to think about API. So this kind of happens. They are not necessary, no, it's just... So people, why people put parens here is because people just don't trust operator precedence in language. And there are basically two different schools of thought. One school of thought is called like stupid, fat, ugly job interviewer who will, you know, make you memorize all of the operator precedents and priorities and ask you, you know, like stupid questions, you know, like look at the code and see and tell me what it returns. This kind of brain puzzles. And there's another school of thought, people who actually do the work. And people who actually do the work, they never trust operator precedence. They just wrap everything in parentheses and don't even think twice about it. Because first, it just makes it very explicit. And second, when GCC fucks something up again, you don't get fucked. Shoddy language design. I mean, you could say that, oh, it should just be intuitive. But then what is intuitive? Who the fuck knows? So yeah, I'm not against that. I totally understand why people do that, and especially when you program multiple languages at once. So I write at least 3 programming languages on regular basis, and I read even more languages. and I just couldn't be fucked to remember all of them. You know how all of them differ in their operator precedence bullshit. And if you add templating languages I have to work with, that's even worse. So I usually just do that as well. Unless linters specifically configured to remove parentheses, for example, in one of the TypeScript projects I maintain, there is a linter that will enforce removing of parentheses. I'm fine with that, you know, linters know operator precedence, whatever. But I just tend to do this as well. So I totally understand people who do. Wait, I missed something. I was looking at Russian handwriting, or cursive, or however you call it. Man, some of that shit is insanely unreadable. Yeah, it definitely requires some skill and experience. It's just like reading Rust, let's be honest. When you look at Rust for the first time, you also don't fucking understand what's going on. Right, but anyway, how do we handle present? How do you handle this particular logic? Usually the way you do it is you call swap buffers, and then you call that. And this actually kind of brings us to the point of adding a graphics API support into our library. Because at the moment I have a completely separate OpenGL module that Simp uses. And Simp does all of the rendering under the hood. But yeah. I assume, well, the way SDL does it is SDL implements graphics API itself. It has loaders for OpenGL, it has loaders for Vulkan and for other stuff as well. So if we are kind of following SDL conventions, we need to create like JDL swap buffers, and that swap buffers will call GL swap buffers, and then it will also call handle present. Right? Right. I guess so. And there's also a second issue. Second issue is that we don't need to release the event loop. Yeah, so there will be, it's actually the same as in clipboard handling. When we update window events, we need to hold this loop before we get the pair event. So let me elaborate, because I probably gets a bit confusing. The way it works is that we first get event that tells us, okay, you are about to start being resized, like get ready. And then you get an actual resize event. So the resize event kind of split in two. And the way my program is implemented now is that between those two events, I actually I might release event loop and let the program re-render, which is kind of bad. The correct implementation is to hold on the loop before I get the configure notify request. And clipboard actually works the same way. In order to handle clipboard, you have to exchange events sort of in series. Right? Instead of just releasing the control to your application. But this part we will handle later. So first we need to implement this crap. And for now I just feel like just hacking it in. So in my main, this calls like simp swap buffers. And simp swap buffers just like call swap buffers depending on like what is it? Like depending on operating system. And here what I can do is I can actually just do JDL swap buffers. and I can just call, and I can just put like a window on it, and then window will have EGL display and like info specific and surface, and then my library will under the hood do all of this stuff. How about that? Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Like window. This would probably be an API. And then window has GL display and the context kind of attached to it. I've recently been using Rust a lot more. I've set aside some of my previous reservations, and I think it's just generally a great language. Even the argument about friction when quickly reiterating on design, I feel like just an experience, it's not bad. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, jokes aside, I'm not a Rust hater. I dislike two particular things about Rust. Well, I not really dislike, I hate two particular things about Rust. First, very slow compile times. For me, it's like a deal breaker. And two, really bad ecosystem. And by ecosystem, I don't really mean tools availability or library availability. I actually think that in this particular department, Rust is one of the better ones. I just mean the cargo, the crates.io. It's like fucking NPM 2.0. It's just literally, it suffers from the same thing as NPM does. JDL, where's... Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it happens because who were, one of the biggest adopters of Rust? Web developers who wanted a faster alternative to, Python, Node.js, and, stuff like that, PHP. So these people are like one of the biggest adopters of Rust, and Node.js web developers were naturally the bigger group. So they just got their bad sort of hygiene and brought it upon Rust. And slow compile times also contributed because the Rust compiler is very slow. People try to split crates as much as they can to save on what is it called? Like partial compilation. I forgot. Iterative compilation. You know what I mean. I forgot the term. Increment. Yes. Thank you. They try to save on incremental compilation by splitting the crates apart. So it's just kind of bad solution for inherently bad problem. Import a JDL. You know what we will start doing? We will start pulling OpenGL stuff into JDL, and we're gonna remove it from here. So all of the context stuff will be cut out of simp. Simp will just call the library functions here. Yeah. And so first we will just check the sort of our hypothesis by how do we call it? Like finalize, present, I don't know. Right, and window. Don't mind the random ping and HKSR. Hello, hello, Prig. Again? Wait, what ping? 8 Martiro, hello. Wait, what the fuck? Any percent ping? The fuck is that? Ah, it's like basic. Okay, yeah. Sure, sure. It's fine, I don't mind pings on Discord. And what are we going to do here? So it's window.finalize present. The base. Just window. And on Twitch it doesn't even show me. Like, look at this. Here. Like, you pinged me and it doesn't even show me the ping. Oh, also I think I doxed a bunch of people who followed me. I'm sorry. Oops. Yeah. Now we need to put the finalize on the window here. Get mouse pointer, update window events, translate key code. So finalize present is gonna be type that accepts window. And in XCB window we will just actually set it here. Window red base equals XCB finalize present. I know this kind of, like, I don't really like this name. I just don't know what's better to call it now. XCB window. Right, and oh, also it should be inline. Inline, and this advertise record is fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. All of them are in line. Nice. And this one will actually implement the, you know, let's just print it for now. Like finalizing resize. It's really finalize and resize, but I don't know if it makes sense to call it that. Let's just rebuild it. Ooh. Is not a member of base window. Brother, how is it not? Where did I put it then? Did I put it on display? Oh, I put it on display. My bad. Hey, Leonte, hello, hello. Type given XCB window. Oh, shit. Okay, compiles. Oh! How did that even happen? What the fuck? I know this is like feature of Vim, but I always get so confused when it happens. No, this is not Emacs. This is actually a Vim feature. You just can duplicate the same shit you're pasting multiple times if you add a counter to it. And I just fat fingered it. Yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, by the way, Leonta, thanks for all the Kwin hand holding. I actually updated my system, and that's what I thought. It was probably some mismatch between some maybe protocols bullshit and video drivers. I updated kernel, I updated Mesa, I kind of updated I even installed multiple months of update, and now it's really smooth. You see, it's like smooth, doesn't lag anything. So it was just a virtue of me being a boomer. So yeah, it all works now. I wasn't able to compile Kwin from scratch. I assume because, you know, it tried to use my binary packages installed from Arch repository, but then I tried to compile Kwin from master. They probably changed some code, so it didn't work out. And since, you know, Arch repos are kind of inferior compared to portages, well, it is what it is. I just installed binary Kwin. It still kind of works. So yeah. And now I want to recompile and rerun it and see if I get the present sort of. Finalize resize. Woo! Oh, I'm getting the finalize resize on mouse move too. That's crazy. Look at this. Oh, I actually get it every... Yeah, I get it every time I swap buffers. Yeah. So I need to modify it slightly. I need to do this basically. So we have window. Let's call it win. I have what is this? Display is win that base display that xcb handle. That's quite long. I had to leave the chat early yesterday, so you had fixed the flickering. I didn't really fix it, no. It's just Kwin is a little bit nicer with flickering, so you don't see it as much on stream, but it still exists, just in a smaller amount. And today we're gonna fix it like for good. Yesterday we just figured out that it installs all dev packages by default. Ah, yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, flickering still exists, we're just gonna fix it now. And I also found out that it's just not all compositors support this protocol. So i3 doesn't support it. I actually asked on Hyperland GitHub Leonte, and Vaxry confirmed that they don't support it, and he doesn't really want to support it because he doesn't want to maintain more X11 related code than needed. So Hyperland doesn't have it too, which probably leaves only gnomes like Mutter and Kwin that supports it. Alright, and I've asked Vaxry if he'd be down to, you know, patch, and he replied, like he said, if it didn't regress anything and doesn't add too much complexity, then it's like, why not? I didn't think to test on Mutter. You have GNOME installed. I just saw GNOME having the discussions about Xsync since like 2011. So I just assumed they support it. I haven't actually checked the code, but I just saw the issue on the tracker and apparently it was closed. Hello artist. But yeah, maybe, you know, as a break from Jai, sorry for something sacrilegious, we might try to tear apart Hyperland code and implement this protocol. Which is probably such a bad idea, because I know Vaxer uses very like modern, super modern C++, and I don't know like regular C++, let alone modern one. So trying to do something like that live will be a complete clusterfuck. Win.sync.counter. Yeah, and Vaxter, he's like he literally he really likes modern C++. Okay, sync, it's a sync state, and sync state is this one. So it's a counter ID, I think. Yeah, it's the counter ID, I assume. Strauss troop. He's a sour soup. Hey Erebus, you're not supposed to use all of the new features in the same function. I mean, I probably think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I bet there's a lot of super like crazy and bad stuff, but I mean a lot of modern C++ is probably alright. Here's my balanced take. I know, you can't clip it and put it on YouTube Shorts and farm likes, I know, but it is what it is. If not counter, you also play games? I do sometimes, but I haven't played games in stream in a while. I actually used to be a speedrunner. Size in progress. Just return. Strauss troop. Okay, that's a bit too dark. But yeah, hi Roy. I'm still at C++ 20 and some 23, but I love the new features. It's usually when you mix new and old things get messy. I would say the main negative things, like the main constructive negative stuff that I hear about modern C++ is that it adds a lot of time, adds a lot to compilation time. That all of the modern features make compiler way slower. And it's like already kind of unbearable. Is it true? Because I press compile in Jai. Let me... The fuck? Error type slot of declaration, but got an expression. What? Oh. It's not data, it's win. Yeah. Templates do, I see. So because I click compile and in like debug mode, here in Jai, it compiles almost 100,000 lines, including LLM, in under 3 seconds. And if we only consider front-end, it's less than a second. So if I switch to x64 backend, like the Jai custom x64 backend, the entire compilation will take less than a second. Do you mean that it's actually slower than it reports? Or it's actually faster than it reports? Yeah, I think this is the real number, right? Or not? Okay, let's run it with... Yeah, so Wait, what? Ah, fuck, it's like... Yeah, so it's user here. I mean, it still says to... part of it is Emacs overhead, but yeah. I guess this is like the correct one, probably. Somewhere like between 1 and 2 seconds. Some of it is like Emacs overhead. But yeah. Remove. But yeah, basically, one of my favorite Jai features is compile times are so fast. Really like that. Alright, so we compiled a decompiler. Let me restart the program. Oh, the counter is non-zero. So it's still... The fuck? Ah. Is my stream still alive? YouTube crashed. Okay. So YouTube tab literally crashed. Fine, okay. So we have a counter. We need to set... This is actually kind of weird. Why does it think that resize is in progress? Oh, this is stupid. This is dumb. I don't need... I shouldn't do it unconditionally. Only when size actually changes. Standard live is very aptly named. Adds way too much compile time, or you have to babysit it. I mean, I actually do. I actually reset. Where is it? Well, yeah, I need to reset it here. This is true, but the issue is that I set it to true in the first place. That's the issue. I don't actually need to set it to true. By the way, did you know that initial implementation of Xsync protocol in SDL was implemented by some Russian guy from Yandex? And it's also super recent. Like December 2024 or some shit. So it's super recent code. Here, December 2024. Yeah. And maintainer of SDL didn't boot him up because of sanctions, you know. yeah, I remember you was like saying recently that you that you added some patches to SDL. Is, by the way, do you use SDL for work? Like, why are you contributing to it, or is it just something personal? I'm just like kind of interested. If it's not a secret, of course. Here, configure, handle configure. Bro, how do I... Oh, it's... So in which case do we call it? Oh, it's unconditional. That's super weird. Yeah, I remember you were doing some really like embedded stuff. So that's why I'm asking. Painting or precise? The fuck is this? This is some... Huh. WM state. So this just handles kind of resize. You should get configure events only on initial mapping and resize. Yeah, I see. So maybe it's fine. Right, so maybe it's fine if I like handle it one few more times. So I'll just like set it to 0 here. Like so I'll just do this. Which is like sync. And this is actually resize ID64. I think you can just do that, right? Equals 0. Yeah. And we'll do finalize and resize once, and then you see, yeah. And then look at that. Yeah, then we call finalize and resize only when we actually resize. We do flicker though. I mean, that's kinda it. Like, this kinda supposed to be it. Maybe it's the whole K-Win window flickering in sway. I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. Because in sway it flickers in a different way. Like if I run it in sway, you see it flickers on a completely different rate. It like flickers way more. Live K-Win. Okay. Oh, maybe this actually doesn't work. What if this don't work? Oh, I'm a fucking idiot. You know what I forgot? I forgot to set the counter. Yes. You need to set the counter. And also you need to spin the loop. You don't want to release the event loop between resizing and doing that. It's remember how we did the clipboard for focus, where we would keep looping until the clipboard is done, and we will need to do the same shit in XCB. Oh my god. So how do we set counter? Didn't I do it on no, I did this. So yeah, let's see. set counter. Yeah, there you go. Feel free to do a stream fixing focus as well, please. I still have some open bugs about Chrome hanging when copy-pasting. Is it an XCB? I wouldn't be surprised if it hangs on XCB, because we fixed that on X11. Because I remember I was able to sort of reproduce it, and I implemented that the inner loop that would keep the X11 loop. Yeah, it must have been XCB, because XCB releases the loop, and it shouldn't. It should do the same thing as X11 when it has like an outer loop, and the outer loop knows when you wait for additional requests. Because Chromium is super chatty. When you try to paste something in Chromium, it will do like 20-30 requests to your application, and if you try to re-render upon each of those requests, yeah, it will hang naturally. Or you can have multi-rendered event loop, multi-threaded event loop, you know, when one thread is rendering, another thread is like doing the events. That would also solve the issue. Do not hang Chrome. No. That's actually even worse. Because the way it works is that, I don't know, maybe I should bust out Krita, but basically, in order to paste into Chrome, you need to handle like 20-30 requests. And if between every of those requests you re-render, we go through the loop once every 10 seconds. But still, when you paste to Chrome, it triggers the loop like 20 times. That's what I'm talking about. But anyway, I mean, I guess we can go to it when we start implementing it. It's easier to kind of show it. XCB sync dot set counter. I checked because it must happen like right here. Checked. So display and what else? Counter T. I think it's counter ID. And the value. Value is resize ID. Yeah, win sync resize ID. The fuck? Cookie and then XCB check request. XCB request check. If error, bro, couldn't set the counter at when finalizing window present. Error is camera blurry. Fuck! Fog, the demon code prevents me from decline on Raccoon challenge. Yeah. There you go. Ooh! Do you see the... No, I actually don't see the difference. It still fucking flickers. Even though we're setting the counter Let me actually do the camera differently. It's just one of those. So it didn't work. Still kind of flickers. It's incrementing properly. Yeah, we can do that. When do we print it? I guess we printed it. We can print it here, right? Or no, I need to print it in the event. Like here. So this print. New counter 01. Yeah. Shouldn't like both of them get implemented? I actually don't think so. Got new counter, new counter, new counter, new counter. Do we get like... Oh, I can't do X-prop here because it's inside of different compositor. Fuck. I would need to do something like display equals something like, oh, I think it has native window. What? Oh yeah, I can do display for X-prop. That's actually cool. Oh yeah, nice. Thank you. Yeah, you see, shouldn't it have? No, it's probably okay that the. No. Don't like. Never mind. I forgot that the counter is just an ID. But yeah, I mean, we get the. I have no fucking clue. I have no fucking clue. So I mean, we set the counter. We don't get any errors, so I assume it should be fine. Maybe this resize ID doesn't work in this case. Maybe I can do something like ID that's low and that high. You know. Same shit. Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. After I swap buffers. I currently just hacked it into my simp. It's in GL. Here, I call it right after swapping. I assume that's how I should call it, right? Because in SDL they call it after swapping buffers. And I think that actually that should literally be it. In progress. So maybe it's because problem is that the content move when resized. Hey, Scaman, the problem is that it flickers. Like, you see kind of like flickers and jitters, that's the problem. That's like the real problem. And it also kind of clears to black, right? Yeah, like clears to black or some shit. I wonder if this could be like a bug with get wrecked or some shit. I mean, I don't think so. Yeah, that's a good idea. So here I can set white to make it kind of more obvious. Here, you see? It like clears the background to white when it resizes. And it shouldn't do that. Oh. Epilepsy warning. Yeah. Yeah, inputs kind of work, right? Inputs work. Yeah, so it didn't really help. And they passed all the right stuff. I'm pretty sure. Unless counter X-sync counter. I mean, counter ID is counter, right? I'm like pretty sure. Yeah, set counter. Here it is. And I get this counter with generate ID, yeah. So this should all be, I mean, this should literally be good. I don't know. I don't know, man. What is not right? I mean, I assume if I don't do any back pixel at all, it will just set it to white anyway, right? If I just do event mask, I'm pretty sure white pixel is still gonna happen. It's just it's like gonna be white by default. Oh shit. What the fuck? I didn't know that. I didn't know that you can literally emit back pixel and it just sort of, you know, like eats it. I mean, fuck this shit then. I mean, it still jitters as crazy. But when you resize it like that, it's kind of fine. Well, it gets crazy when you resize it top to bottom. But at this point, it's like, is this... What if it's like, you know, get wrecked or simp bug or some shit like that? I mean, I don't really know. I wonder if it, you don't know if it happens on Windows because Windows doesn't fucking support resizing at all. Okay, what happens, what's gonna happen if I run it here? You see, it's kind of like much better. I mean, it's much better than it was, but still kind of sus. I mean, I can push it. I can push it to repo for you to try it out on like an actual KDE and see if it, you know, if it makes a difference like in X11 and Wayland if you have both sessions. But I guess I'll switch to, you know what? Before I do this, there's one more thing we must try. We must actually try to implement the outer loop that we're also gonna need for clipboard. Like, this is already much better than it was. Like, it's still dog shit, but it's, you know, it's much better than it was. You can't deny that. This is already better than like 90% of Linux desktop software. Yeah, what I mean. So, I'm gonna go make myself a jug of dog shit fake coffee, and we will continue. So, don't go anywhere. I probably just made my camera blurry again. Блять. are back. Now you got me wanting to play some WoW. I don't know if you were here, but I'm actually a fake WoW fan because I've never played WoW in my life. I only ever listened to music. The reason is, when WoW released and got popular, I just didn't have internet. I just didn't have internet that's good enough to play WoW. And we had like a very scuffed local network, but nobody in this local network was smart enough to set up a pirated WoW server. So we ended up playing different games instead. And by the time when I got to uni, so since I, got in uni for free and I was like from the village, like small village, I was super afraid that I get like bad grades and get kicked out and my parents will have to pay for my education. So I was just grinding an actual education like really hard. So I barely played any games and whatnot. So my first like a year and a half of uni, I was like really hardcore, like student. So I didn't play shit. And I only got good internet by the middle of my second term in uni, and at this point WoW already kinda died. And I just wasn't interested in MMO at all. Mainly because all of the MMO player I knew from my dorm were just complete fucking lunatics. Everybody who played, Dota, the original Dota, mod for Warcraft 3, or whoever like played Call of Duty or WoW, all of them were just fucking stupid, idiotic, like schizo lunatics. I didn't want to have anything common with them, so I just avoided any MMO, as far as I can. Only when I kind of graduated, I realized that there are people who both played, MMOs and also normal people. Before that, I didn't know this is possible. So, I kind of regret it a little bit, because trick is to find normal. I kind of regret it a little bit because I feel like a lot of good games kind of got past me, and I feel like MMOs is something that I would have enjoyed back then. Stuff like Lineage, World of Warcraft, Knights of the Old Republic, probably TES Online from something later. But I just never got into it in the first place, and I just kept playing single-player games. So yeah, there it is. You know what? What if I try to add gravity here? It's like beat gravity. It's like XB. Is it T? No, it's gravity T. I'm just interested. It'll probably just crash, but yeah, okay. Gravity just isn't working. Oops. Sure, we'll just do this. WoW Classic is pretty good. You can try it now, TBH. They have it officially supported. I see. It took over my life for a few years when it originally. I mean, it's fine, right? But I'm kind of an addictive person. If I get addicted to something, I really like grind it out. And I mean, stuff like hobbies. I don't mean like fucking drugs or shit. Right? So I can really easily imagine, some kind of video game one-shotting me. Which will be a little bit unfortunate, considering that, you know, I'm trying to become a real programmer here. So yeah, outer event loop. So what's the deal, right? The deal is when we're handling events, the way it works that some events indicate that there will be more events. For example, for our resize, when we get this client protocol event for netwm sync, you have a kid. The trick is to get them addicted young so you can have them farm shit. Yeah, I will have actually a second one soon, so I can have like a literal, you know, like child farm. Yeah. They could do like PvP for me. And then I will have like my personal guild. But yeah. So, what I was talking about is that when I get this event, I know that I will instantly get another event after it. And what I need to do is I need to not release my event loop before I handle this event. You know what I mean? So I get this event and then I need to wait for this event. Yeah, that's basically the idea, because otherwise I would release the event loop and I would give the application control and the application will try to re-render and try to like reset the counter and do some, you know, weird ass bullshit. You know, stuff like that. I mean, this shouldn't really be a case because I only set the resize to in progress true here. But still, it's like an additional re-render that we really shouldn't have. And I think that's what SDL does, kind of, right? What SDL does is it's sort of where is it? It's like client message, right? It does like a yeah, so it only sends window event. Ah, no, this is like debug, right? Ah, no, here it is. Send window event. Close requested, okay. That's handle sync request. So I think that's how SDL event loop works, right? It only like releases this loop when it gets something of interest. Handle clipboard event. Where's the loop? Modifier key, speak, target. Where's the for loop? Kinda hard. Is it like, I think it's like check if, yeah, no, this is repeat. This is key repeat. So this is kind of one of the examples, right? It does like polling events inside of the event. That's kind of the thing. So this is still key repeat. Ah, there's no for loop at all, I see. Hey, Siphon. I mean, it sort of works. Like, sort of, kind of. Oh, wait. Let me recompile. Sort of, kind of. So you see, it's kind of better than it was. We don't flicker anymore. But it's still kind of jittery when we resize diagonally, you see. So we're kind of making progress, but we're not like there yet. Welcome to the stream. I think it's because of removing back pixel. I don't think it's because of the sync, to be honest. I mean, we can remove that, right? But yeah. So we can remove events. Where is it? Here. So we can just not do anything here. We can not do anything here. And then we effectively don't handle counters at all. Oh yeah, and don't set property on the window. You're right. You're totally right. So we like don't set the protocols like at all. And init display here the protocols. Where's the... Where is it? Bruh. Ah, it's in window create. Sorry. Here. Right, so here. I think it will do the same thing, literally. Yeah. Oh, it's different. Look at this fucking dog shit. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. I mean, sway will be better. You see it. So yes, sway will act the same way as KD acts after we remove big gravity. But seems like we need this sync protocol for KWin to properly function. So let's bring it back. At least we sort of verify that it makes a difference, right? Yeah, it does make a lot of difference. It's like, you see, it doesn't lag anymore. It's like doing the thing. Yeah. All right, so the outer loop. The jittery positioning probably because of simp. I have this suspicion, to be honest. I low-key suspect that. Because maybe it does like multiple flashes, right? Under the hood. It might draw, like overdraw, draw multiple times. Yes, Everybus. So SDL has to set forget gravity, because otherwise it literally doesn't work. But having window gravity set, that's actually an interesting idea. And it's northwest. So top left corner, right? Doesn't it calculate sizes in percents of the render size? I actually have no idea. I don't really know how simp works in these details. We can set window gravity. How about that? It's like wind gravity, I think. Yeah, it's wind gravity. And wind gravity is northwest. I don't think it's gonna make a difference in this case, probably. Let's see if it like poops itself. Oh, it breaks. It can't create window like that. Interesting. Huh. That's really surprising. Maybe we can change attributes, right? Like change window and set wind gravity after we create the window. Let's try it out first. So we don't have gravity here. The default has been southwest. Yeah, maybe. So we create the window. And then it's like change window attributes. Change window attributes. It's XCB change window attributes. And change window attributes. Where is it? Here. It accepts the connection. It accepts a window itself. It accepts value mask and value list. So value mask would be gravity, wind gravity. And the props will be like U32 data. XCB gravity T dot northwest. Ooh, shit, it worked. I still fucking jitters. But it doesn't jitter when I do this. So when I resize it from top left to top right, you see it doesn't like jitter anymore. But it used to. It used to jitter when I like jerked it from this corner. And now kind of stays the same. But when I do this, it will... Oh, it also, you see, doesn't jitter. So it only kind of jitters when I detach it. Like that. Kind of like a little bit weird. And it's like assuming the gravity thing worked. I mean, I assume it worked. Actually, yeah, I need to do X prop, right? Do you have gravity here? On here? Or not? I don't think so. XW info. I don't have it. x/s xw info. Is this? Oh, it's some kind of AUR package. Shouldn't it be like built in? It's probably some Xorg utils or some shit. Yeah, it's Xorg X info. Almost installed a vir. The fuck? Ah, X11 info. This name's X11 info. These fucking names, man. X11. Like that. Oh, right. So what do we have here? Northwest, it worked. It worked. Yeah, it literally worked. Actually, what if we do... Oh my god, I hate when this happens. So, what did I do? I fucked up the... Oh, man. So it's like this, and then... Where's the browser? This goes here. And then, yeah. Saved it. Saved it. What if I do gravity like static? People talk to Beethoven. You are deaf. You can't be great composer. You know what he asked? I don't hear you. Believe in yourself. Mah. Hello, pig. Let's do like beat gravity and static. I got a jitters. Oh wait, let's... it should be the opposite. Like that, and then like that. Boop. Yeah, so it worked like that, you see? I know all your tricks. I know all your tricks. Your dirty little tricks. Yeah, so static gravity doesn't really change much. Ooh. Yikes. Anyway, let me actually keep wind gravity like that. It's probably a good idea, I think, to have it. I don't see much difference. Oof. Alright, so let's implement the outer event loop, finally. Oh! Thank you for bitcoins. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Here is 10 bits for being one stiahit.
She really took her time before she said it. It doesn't seem to detach from top left anymore. Just sink in like the render it lagged being reset. Yeah, I mean maybe. But I mean even even aside from it be working or not, having northwest gravity kind of makes sense, right? Just logically, because most people
Коренные
usually...
русские глупые.
Oh, holy shit, we have a racism here! Do I sell my national identity for money and allow a little bit of racism in the chat? Of course. Hey, boy, hello. Do you know this crazy shit in KDE? If you shake your mouse cursor a little bit, it gets kind of bigger, like in macOS. But unlike macOS, it never gets smaller. Look at this. You can get it arbitrarily bigger if you keep shaking it. Like I'm shaking it and shaking it and shaking it, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And bigger, and it just won't stop. It just gets super fucking huge. Look at that. And then it gets small. Hey, looking to build a multi-seller platform with LAMP stack. Linux, Nginx, MySQL, PHP, Laravel, but have minimal coding skills. Where can I find a truly skilled developer to hire? What should I check before bringing someone on? And how do I make sure there are no backdoors or sketchy stuff in the code once they're done, since crypto is also a payment method for deposit and withdrawals? So, if you want an honest question, like a really honest question, answer, you don't. It is impossible. If you don't want, if you don't know programming yourself, it is impossible for you to hire a good developer unless you somehow just get incredibly lucky. So I would say don't count on that. The only correct way to do it is if you know someone who is good at programming, or at least if you know someone who knows good programmers. This is the only way you can find a good programmer, especially in the current economy. If you try to find freelancers on Upwork, 95% you will just get fucked and scammed, or just like get unlucky with, you know, someone fresh out of, you know, like boot camp. So yeah, the only way to do it successfully is if you have a programmer friend or someone who has a programmer friend. That's literally the only way. You can also, you know, try to work with one of the companies that specializes on like hiring developers, right? There are a lot of companies who claim that they will give you the top talent. You might try your luck with one of those, but it's also like, you know, hit or miss. And so if you literally know like jack shit about programming, you'll get scammed 100%, like unless you're, you know, incredibly fucking lucky. Yeah, and you know, in English they're called sweatshops. In Russian we call them galery. So it's like the ancient ships with slaves, you know, and programmers on those sweatshops are slaves who, you know, like, who do the swimming. So yeah, I would say don't even try. I think if you literally don't have any friends like that, or someone you know who might have friends like that, your best bet would be to try and learn some programming yourself. I tell you, getting started with Laravel is not that hard. Just literally try to follow Laravel tutorial. Laravel is one of the best documented web framework out there. It has insanely huge community. The Laravel community is super mature. I would say probably like 99% of Laravel devs are adults with kids who like actually make money with the framework, believe it or not. So you could like get a lot of help just in the community. So if you don't have programmer friends who will get you started, just try to learn it a little bit. So you try to get something working like yourself. And then maybe after you get something working, you might might want to, like, you know, try to find someone to help you. That would be your safest bet. Yeah. The worst thing you can do is to go on Upwork and trying to find a freelancer. That will just one-shot you. My old coworker, 40s to 50s, that always worked in retail, went into Laravel bootcamp and is now full-time Laravel dev. Took her about 1-3 years. Well, first, she's probably incredibly smart. And second, she found a good fucking bootcamp, I tell you that. But, I mean, 90% is that her probably being very smart. You say I should code it out myself instead of potentially getting scammed. Yes, I think you should try to get, you know, if you're interested, of course, if you know, if it's something you think you could do, try to learn enough Laravel to get yourself started, like on your own. And I was talking that Laravel is one of the best framework in terms of existing community and existing documentation. So it's just, you're probably not gonna be alone at any step. And PHP itself, you know, the language is also very well documented and has like a fuck ton of tutorials in existing code. So yeah, my advice would be just try to bootstrap your project yourself if you don't have anyone who's like tech savvy, who you know. Don't go to freelancers, don't go to sweatshops, you'll just get fucking scammed. Yeah, I mean, sorry if it's a disappointing answer, but it is what it is. Yeah, you're welcome. And good luck to you with the project. So, Ilionte mentioned that SDL doesn't have a loop. You just call wait for events and you get events as they come, but there's also poll for events. Does it do the same shit? I guess it does the same shit, it just avoids like blocking calls, right? It probably just avoids this part of the equation and goes like, and jumps like straight here. Oh, I mean, sorry, it avoids this stuff and jumps straight here. What do we have here? While painting event. Not equals null. So what I was talking about is, let me show you focus. And focus has libx11 implementation. No. It's in modules. Yes, thank you. Where is it? LDX. Yeah, here. Oh, it's... It's an input. Fuck. Bro, where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? Ah, LDX input here. Sorry. So wait for events. it releases the, and it does, yeah. So here, so you see it does an outer loop while pending or expect more events. So basically we need to implement this part, but in XCB display. And yeah, I wrote this comment, so I'll kind of reread it and hopefully it will make sense. And I need to read myself because I need to refresh my memory. Some things in X11 happen across multiple events, and it doesn't make much sense to draw in between. For example, clipboard handling. Other programs can send and expect a sequence of events just to pass the clipboard around. Chromium and its children is particularly notorious for initiating a big series, what is double space bullshit, of clipboard events. Where did reviewers look? And if we draw on every event, then pasting into other program from focus becomes slow. So instead, event handler says that it expects more events to come, so we don't release the event loop right away and instead wait for more events. We don't want to wait forever though, so we'll release the loop either if some other event arrives that doesn't expect some events, or at most after a second, so some buggy program doesn't hang the editor while handling our clipboard response. Hopefully it makes sense. This was for clipboard, but I guess sync is exactly the same. So yeah, we do this, or expected more event, we get the event, and we pass it. And then we call elapsed time. And we kinda go here into like an infinite loop. And then handle event actually like handles event. And it sets expect more events like here. Oh, it actually, no. This way it works is it returns the boolean if it expects more events. Yeah. And so it's just like return true, yeah, here. So you see like selection request and we return true because we send an event and we wait for response. And I think that's like the only one. Yeah, that's like the only one. Hey Ropet, we are slain. Yeah. Right, so, and this has just like a, yeah, just like that. So I guess we can kind of put it here, like if not null or expect more events. And elapsed time less than 1.0. Something like this. And then expect more events is false, and elapsed time start seconds since init. Do we do seconds since init? I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. And then I guess we do, when we do defer, we do this and elapsed time equals seconds since init. We do like minus elapsed time, right? So we like get kind of a delta, I guess. Where's the elapsed time? Oh yeah, it's literally here. Nice. Very nice. And this just sets expect more events to true. No, not this, sorry, this one. Expect more events equals true. And then at the start of the loop we do expect equals false. Yep. I think that should be it. Attempt to use value inside its own declare. Oh shit! It's an outer. No. Sorry, I'm a dum-dum. I'm a dum-dum. Attempt to dereference a null pointer. Okay. Why is that? If pending event not equals null. Ah, yeah. So. If not pending event, continue. Yeah. Damn, this guy dereferences null pointers. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I mean, maybe it's a placebo, but I think it jitters a little bit less. I mean, it's still fucking jitters, right? But I would be inclined to believe that this is something in simp. And there's just like when I draw to simp, you can see there's a lot of stuff like GL invalid operation, GL draw buffers, and I think draw buffers is something that simp calls. No? Do we not call it? Well, maybe we don't call it actually. Ah, you know what? Maybe actually no. It should be only called by simp. Yeah, so simp doesn't call that, so maybe it's something different. So maybe it's some decorations bullshit. Oh. And so why I think it might be a simp bug, by the way, is because what handles the resize event polling? No, not sure I understand. So, and why I think it's simp is because, so for example, oh shit. So if I add a bunch of stuff to make the scroll bar scroll, here. I don't think you can see that here, right? Yeah, it's like... it's not particularly visible. Oh. Maybe you can see when I move it. No. So there was like a condition under which a scroll bar starts like clipping through its sub window. Let me try to maybe add more. Actually, you can't see it here. Not with Wayland native application scam. No, this is just this one is X11 app, so I can't really run it in the pure Wayland. But Wayland native apps, they don't have this issue, like at all. They just don't have this issue straight up. But I mean, we already kind of made it fine. This result is already much better than it was. So maybe, I guess I maybe just leave it like that. I don't know. Yeah. What if I run it like here? So it kind of jitters, right? But it's way better than before, because before it also was like flickering in black. It just like jumps around, and my assumption is that it's probably simp, but I actually want to debug this. No, not debug, but just make sure that I handle this correctly. Just log a little bit. So here in the loop, where's the event loop? Here. I want to print. So here where I expect more events is true, and then when I get configure notify, so like expect before. It's, you know, it's not really here. It should be like here. So expect before, and then here, let's print expecting more events. And here resize, like that. And I just want to see how this shit gets set. So expecting before false, false, expecting more events true, and then false, 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 resize. Yeah, expecting before false. And now, so look at that. We said expecting more events, expecting before true. Oh, there's like another event in between that. You see? Expecting before false. Ah, you know what events before? It's like mouse move. Like mouse move. Like moving mouse also generates events. And so in this case, you see expecting more events, expect before false, resize, and then false. When I resize outwards, I don't get intermittent events here. But when I resize inwards, I get resize events and I get mouse move events. Because my mouse is like inside the rectangle. Yeah, so what if I do something like not removing more events false, but rather setting it like here. This is a little bit dangerous to do though. I mean, that's why we have a timer, right? Yeah, you see what I did? I cucked it. Completely cucked the resize events. Yeah. But I mean, it should still work somehow. Expect more events equals false. Resize events on suicide wish. How does renderer and UI handle the resize events? Does it handle all the queued events before either? Yes. Let me show you. So here we have a multiple resize events, and we just call update window for all of them. We just call update window first, and then we calculate new size, and then if should init, re-init, like init fonts. An update window, it does, where's simp? The fuck is simp? Yeah, here. It just basically gets rendered dimensions for the window, It sets new window height width into its some internal data structure, and then it like resizes render target.
Long Island caught fire. Because, fuck you.
Unlucky for Long Island. Thank you for 8 bitcoins though. I am way more luckier than Long Island. If the user changes the window after setting a shader, the projection will be out of date, so update it here. And I guess it updates the projection if there's a texture render target. So yeah. And backend resize render target is in OpenGL somewhere. I mean, yeah, if it's a big fire, it's not good at all. So it calls GL viewport. Basically 2015. It's like... I mean, for me personally, 2015 was good, but I understand what you mean. What does GL viewport does? What does it do, I mean? What does GL viewport do? It sets new, like, width of the canvas. For all current events. It calls whenever there is a resize. Right, so update window gets called whenever there is a resize, yeah. Only when the window gets resized. Right, so if we don't call it, for example, we can recompile and see how it affects stuff. Oh wait, I broke it. Let me go CD window AGI, and where is it? Why doesn't it work though? Ah, yeah, right. So we need to kind of release the loop every time we resize. So kind of want, I guess I want to like break here or some shit, right? I would like break here. That would make it work, actually. The way I structured it, at least. No? Wait, why? Why? Wait, why wouldn't it break here? Is it because of this? Oh, it's probably because of that. But I mean, no, it should... The fuck? Let me put it out of the loop. Oh! I need to recompile. I need to recompile. Aren't I breaking the switch case? That's actually a good question. Does break on switch case work? Yeah, I actually also don't know that. That's a good question. You know what? Maybe it does. Let's check how-tos. If case. case is a block of an arbitrary number of statements. So there's literally no mentions of break here. Hey Ukama. Yeah, I solved it. Kind of. We don't flicker anymore, but now we try to improve the resizing. So resizing kind of works without flickering, but it still jitters, and I try to make it better. So there's literally no breaks here. I guess what I can do is I can return. The fuck? Oh. So it doesn't even... Okay, that's something completely different. Is it because I'm not getting... Is it because I'm not getting an event or what? Let me resize it in sort of... No. It's like omega weird. So I refresh the loop. I try to check for another event. Right. This is a classic mistake. I always do this mistake. You need to do that after defer, not before, because otherwise defer doesn't register. Yeah. This is a classic mistake. There you fucking go. There you fucking go, man. Yeah, so you see we don't flicker anymore, but you see we're not resizing the... We're not calling GL like viewport, so it doesn't kind of recalculates the position, but it still jitters, you see? So GL viewport inside SIM doesn't really affect that at all. Oh. I think we cooked it. Yeah. Anyway. So let's check with break now and see if it works with break. Okay, it does work with break. Fine. Yeah, so let me go back to main and put update window back so we get proper like corner handling here. Yeah, so it draws proper. Oh! Wait, does it not jitter anymore? The fuck? Look at this. Ah, no, it's because of the gravity. It will jitter here. Yeah. It will jitter like that. You can't break out of switch case. Yeah, fine. You need to like return only. Here. See? Yeah. So I mean with jitter, but like there's not much I can do about it, to be honest. And I think I'd probably expect more events like here. Still. Like here. At the start of the loop. Here, sorry. Where's the fuck? Where's my window? Ah, yeah, sure, here. Right, so we get sync, we kind of expecting more events. Then when we get configure, we add resize record, and we also initialize like the resize in progress. And then we finalized it, and it's all good. Like let's remove break here. And if we get mouse move in between and we re-render, I don't think there's much issue, to be honest. Probably fine. We can like tweak it later, but this expect more events. It will be kind of, this will facilitate our future clipboard handling. Yeah, so let me recompile. Yeah. I mean, it's way better than it was, right? So it's like whatever. What can I do more? I don't know. And this is probably like simp getting confused anyway. It might be some issue between like calling GL viewport, calculating like the render size, like rendering some like in a weird way. If I do it really slowly, it's sort of like it's kind of like a little bit scuffed, but not really. And if I resize fast, it like whatever. It's better than it was. So let me. I guess I probably commit that. The fuck is this? Finalize present. Yes. Yeah. Oh, there's like print. Let's remove that. The fuck is this? Ah, yeah, right. This is like... No, this will stay for now. Delete a bunch of trailing white spaces. Yeah. Only way I can reproduce it that in SDL is by rendering before handling the events. It was why I was bugging you about how you're... So by rendering before handling events. This might happen if simp under the hood renders multiple times per frame, right? That might happen, but I'm like not that familiar with the implementation, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. Let me commit that. Better resize on X11. Whoa! Secret mode. I rebooted my machine today and this is my first commit after rebooting. And I guess this is like my first unlocking the vault. This is for signing my commit. Yeah. I mean, I can kind of investigate, can try to like investigate. So we have one set render target. It's at the very beginning of the program, and UI init too. It also calls simp. But after we enter in the loop, we call an update window events. And here we kind of figured out that yes, this calls GL viewport, but it still jitters. What does init font do? Yeah, it just gets new fonts. Actually, what if we don't call init fonts? Just in case, you know. I mean, it's still same shit, right? Did it compile? It's like... Yeah. Hey, what else? What else? Now we handle the clipboard, we handle inputs. This is window close, this is platform DINI, this get rect handle event. So this is like in our... The fuck is this? This to do can be removed. This is in the third-party library. Well, here in get rect handle event. And it literally just adds events to the queue. And then when we draw one frame, we just set up a bunch of stuff. Oh, you know what? Maybe this one, like clear render target. Maybe this one jitters. What do you think? What if we don't clear? Oh, this is the wrong one. You see, we have like a background color, but we still flicker. And you see, we have like a bunch of old like renderings, uncleared ones. Like, yikes, dude. From yikes. Ooh. But it actually like renders off, like way off base. So you know what it means? It actually means that it renders before resizing, right? It should like first 0, positioning during resize. Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be some sort of like weird ass race condition, right? Like, I mean, it's gotta be some sort of like weird ass yeah. Here, UI oh, you know what? I mean, no, that's actually should be fine. Because this... yes, this is hard-coded. But it should be hard-coded. Because I don't actually change how my UI gets drawn. I also do get dimensions here. I actually don't think I need it here. Because 800 by 800 it is how I want to draw. Because, I mean, you probably noticed that, but I don't really... compile. Because I don't really care about window size, I just always try to render how I want. I don't try to like resize, rescale. But yeah. Window height. And there's also XY. So what if I do... What if I don't do this, but I just do x, y equals 0? Ah, still same shit. Skip drawing for resize events completely? I know what you mean. So just draw initial frame and don't redraw like at all, right? I mean, I still need to swap buffers. UI per frame update. I think if I don't call this, I'll just crash. Yeah, I just literally crash. So, and this bunch... There's also a lot... So here there's like a lot of draw calls with like draw immediate quad and stuff like that. So what I can maybe do here is... I would draw one frame and then we just don't redraw, right? If locations for elements are invalid because of resize and during resize, maybe we can just show previous frame without changes. It's like... I mean, it should properly recalculate it because we already have new resize entries. Like we set new... We add resize records here with new width and height. So this should be fine. Fine. Yeah. Excuse me. Maybe what we can do is we can like... where is it? So get window resizes. Maybe here we can only handle the last one, right? If it window equals the window. So we can do like something like this. And then do this logic. So only do it for a single one, right? For the very last one. And it doesn't have it anymore. It's just resize, resize, and then yeah, it's just wait. So do something like that. And no shot, same shit. Yeah. And so this happens because like 0, 0 moves somewhere like up, and here it like moves down. So it thinks that 0, 0 is like lower than it actually is. right? And I mean, it shouldn't be the case. Oh my fucking god. Hey, Serp, thanks for the raid. Hello, people. Did you have a race today? Did you win, if that was a race? Or were you just like grinding any percent? Hello. Welcome. Welcome everyone, we are doing programming. And here is the program. If you're interested. This is my old OCD cleaner rewritten. Just grinding for practice. I see. Last minute seeding PB. Cool. Didn't get it. Unlucky. But I mean, you did get 33 recently, so that's already big poggers. And yeah, hello. Hope you're doing well. Should have been more 33s. Yeah, maybe even 32. Because, I mean, why not? Tired and mildly tilted. I mean, it's any percent naturally. I would be tilted too. Yeah, so, I mean, for real though, the only way to know for sure if it's caused by X11 jank or actual like bug in simp would be to implement Wayland backend, right? Then we will know. Because Focus actually doesn't do that. Yes, Focus in native Wayland backend doesn't flicker. Yeah. So it must be some X11 shenanigans. Maybe also I'm just not fast enough with redrawing stuff. Like, who knows? Anyway, yeah, I'm done rat holing on window resize. It's already much better. Ooh, sorry. It's already much better than it was before, so let's maybe try to switch to clipboard before I'm super tired and want to sleep. At least like start maybe on clipboard. So is my today out of date? Yeah, then clipboard support. Okay, it's fine, I'm not gonna change it. Clipboard. We can just straight up go to Focus and just yoink clipboard from Focus. And preserving this like elapsed and waiting for more events. So first we need to sort of initialize clipboard. The fuck? Clipboard. Yes, clipboard get text. This is the one. And there should be also like set text. Yes, set text. So 2 of these. And I think, are they? No, they're not literally getting set. They should be getting set on the... it's in a different file. I assume this also handles clipboard. So the way it's implemented is clipboard to window is a completely different window, by the way. So it's not like the same window. There's also inker. So the cases when the clipboard data is large, so we need to handle it in chunks. There's also an atom for the clipboard, and there's atom for our clipboard, and there's also atom for supported targets. So this is all clipboard atoms. And then we get set and get text. Clipboard window. Le window. I want to ask Leonte why he decided to make a completely separate window for clipboard handling. I mean, I assume it's to not mess with the window focus, my assumption would be. But I don't know. And here we have selection notify request. And selection notify, this should be some kind of if case. Yeah, here's if case. So this is we get the... I want to ask Leonte why he made a separate... Oof. Okay. I see how it is. Property notify. What's that? Get property. Large incoming transfer. Reply type, selection request. So there's selection request, selection notify. That's so much. I actually don't think I'll... Because I kind of want to just sit and implement clipboard in sort of one go. And I definitely like not gonna be able to do it all today in a short period of time. Unless I just literally copy paste it and see that it works. We can try that, you know, we can try just, you know, kind of YOLO it and see. Doing some tests to see what the maximum request size is. But not much after that. Okay. So I mean, we can try to do that. Just literally do something like that. It's like here. Did I miss? Oh no, it's okay, I just don't have a block here. Sniff. I'll just have F. Selection notify log. Atom name. I think this is a display. No, it's just D. Selection target. This is not gonna be focused. This is gonna be our editor selection, our selection data. Something like that. No, it's... So this is one of those situations where like having atoms be members of the structs is kind of bad, because we can't name the atom in a generic way. We need to store it separately, this particular atom. This needs to be something like JDL selection plus the class of the application. Otherwise we won't be able to have two different apps running around, you know what I mean? They would become, they would like conflict. We'll figure it out, it's okay. XCP error, get property, handle one, not on the display. I don't mean the atom is global. I mean the atom name, the name for our selection, right? It's gotta be something like window name plus selection, right? So it can't be a field on the struct. Because what if we run two different applications that use the same library, this library? Then they will have, you know, selection data named in the same way. Maybe it's fine because they're kind of separated by the window and a connection. So maybe I'm just being a bitch. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. For now, I'll just rename that so I don't forget. Get cookie error libc free. I call it c free. What do we have here? Global atoms, UTF-8 string. We have that string, get property value length, clipboard data. Free. This is what? Okay, this is our free. Clipboard data copy string. Transfer ongoing. And then incur. Large incoming transfer, and then we reset clipboard incoming in-flight data. Okay, right, so this is selection notify 1. Now we need a property notify. Here it is. I'm gonna like put them one by one. Yeah, property notify. And I think it's event. It's like, yeah, it is event. All good. So we get event, we get its state, atom name, not equals clipboard. So clipboard to window. So I guess here is I need to like find a window for which the clipboard is getting called, and then, you know, if I can't find it, I just bail out. And this stuff will maybe be on the window, not on the display. I don't know. Right, because multiple windows can have its own like clipboard bullshit going on. I guess. Get property, clipboard to window, global atoms, our selection data. This will get renamed. C3PO. Display clipboard in flight. Now what do we have here? Again, UTF-8 string. If not text, finish to large clipboard transfer. Incoming data buffer to builder to string. Sure. So yeah, I think this should be on a window, because, you know, in a multi-window situations, imagine, right, you have some kind of a multi-window program and some automation tries to paste into both of them like at the same time or in like multi-threaded way. So you want to probably handle those per window and not have a clipboard or like any kind of like selection on the connection itself. At least that's like probably makes sense to me. I don't know if it actually makes sense. It's just like what comes to mind. Yeah. It also, you know, means if you have multi-window situation, if, for example, one of your window poops out while trying to handle the clipboard, your overall program can keep working. Well, maybe not if it all happens in a single event loop and you lock it up, but you know what I mean. That's why I like, you know, a connection per window, so that event loop can be completely separate. Even though it's kind of wasteful. Right, so we have this and then selection request. This is for when you are asked to provide the selection. Selection notify. Yes. So here. If you're single-threaded, you can still lock up. Yes. Yes. Wait. Lock up with multiple connections. Wait, how? No, I mean, if you are multi-threaded. Yeah, I know what you mean, If you try to handle events for all the connections in a single thread. Yeah. In this case, you would have to handle each window in a separate thread or somehow, you know, have a way to switch between them. Yes. Fibers. Hear me out. Are for eating, not programming. Yeah, fibers are not supposed to be programmed. XCB atom T, so global atoms string. So this is just atoms. This is not global atoms. I think I forgot to rename it somewhere on top, but yeah, I see it. See you, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Today I watched a Megadeth live show from 1992 in Italy. I know why I said Italia. And he was like, Buongiorno! Go threads. Not really. In Go they're called coroutines. But I guess they're kind of fibers, right? Fibers more like, God help me, React fibers. Event target, requester. Yes. Event target, it's just atoms, UTF-8 string, max length. This -4 clipboard, yes, like that. Cookie change. So what does it do? It gets the max length of the request. It gets the cookie of the change in property. What do you set the property to? Oh yeah, you set it to the data of the outgoing data, right? And then you check the errors. And if we have an error, we do that. Continue. So we don't really, do we have continue? Yes, I'm in a loop. so I can continue. And here we will have to like sprinkle a bunch of, you know, waiting for request, shit like that. That's it for requests, I think. Yeah, now if I compile it, it will all go to shit. And declared identifier event. Why would that be? It's a pending event, right? Yeah. And I guess same shit here. Pending event. And here also pending event. XD, forgot one. Okay, now we don't have clipboard window. So here, instead of doing clipboard window, so selection notify. Requester. This poses an interesting question, right? If we have different clipboards on different windows, how do we know which is requested? You know what I mean? But I mean, when you get selection notify, it doesn't like, it doesn't tell me which window it asks. It just, you know, kind of, it just asks, give me the clipboard, right? Yeah, I have to track like an active window. Or like the window that holds the clipboard. AKA clipboard window. But instead of being a separate window, it's just gonna be one of the windows, right? I guess that's fair enough. Yeah. So we can do clipboard window. Yeah, but it's not gonna be a separate window that you create. I mean, it can be a separate window that you create. It can be. It's just the clipboard window is the one for outgoing requests, but for incoming requests or for paste events, we use, you know, window that it's targeted to, right? So I guess that's kind of the strat we can use. So either we create a completely new window for the clipboard, or we just use the same window that we have and otherwise we'll like track. So it's like, you know, when you set the clipboard, you just replace the clipboard window with whatever window that holds the clipboard. Clipboard should be a global application state, not per display or window. Yes. Yeah, that's also a good point. That is also a good point. That is a good point. It's like your app is holding the shit. But I mean, here you only look, here in this particular like selection identifier, you only use it for logging, so I can just, right, requester selection. So it's like this, I guess. Atom name, oh. Atom name is the thing that gets the name. Oh, this is probably where the hash table that I deferred to implement comes to place. It comes to equation. Or not. Yeah, it uses the hash table. Yeah. Should I put the table on the display connection? I mean, I can just, I just can have global ones. Right. Just have them globally in the module, not on the display. I mean, it doesn't make much. It's just, you know, makes it a bit easier to dereference shit, I guess. Unless I want to connect to different X servers. Why would I want to do that? I just want to create a library for desktop applications that run on the same computer. I don't want any fucking different X servers. Who knows, you kids? Yeah. Okay, let me copy that. Where is it? It's in like XCB, so here somewhere. I guess I can put it like scope file, maybe not scope file. I mean, it is a library function, right? So whatever. Atom names, error, do that. C3PO, funny every time. Copy string, we do that, and then we need to the table is in yes, it's in the display itself. So yeah, there you go. I even commented it out. And JDL module, I guess this import hash table will go to here. Atom names, let me, okay, now we don't have our selection data. So we literally need an atom for clipboard. And so we need to honestly just keep it out of these atoms. Just create it separately. Right. Not on the display, it's just like clipboard, application clipboard. how do you call it? XCB atom t and clipboard name string. Display, it's like, oh, it's literally global. It's like literally here. It's not even in the display. But we initialize it, I guess, when we create the display, and we initialize it only once. Right, and if it's not set, we set it, otherwise we just like don't touch it. That sounds like a good idea. And so here we will be doing clipboard atom. Clipboard large incoming transfer. Okay, this is some like clipboard state. We can kind of put it on a separate struct the same way we did with sync. Right. Large incoming transfer. Yeah, so here we can have like a clipboard state, and it will be what? Excuse me. Blocking transfer ongoing, window that I guess holds the clipboard data, or maybe I don't know, maybe we don't need window at all. Incoming data and large incoming transfer. And builder. So yeah, we can just pack it up into a struct. So we have sync info, clipboard info. Actually, you know what? I want to have sync info without XCB. We already know it's XCB. And XCB sync info. Anything else? Yeah, there you go. Do this. Do that. Clipboard. Wait. Ah. Somebody uses autocomplete. What's this? Gotcha, bitch. Clipboard. Code in 4K. Wait a second. Autocomplete, please. I mean, I do that too. XCB window T. So window we probably don't need blocking transfer and going string builder. Yeah, this should be fine. Now, so this is like clipboard info dot large incoming transfer. How did I call it? Clip info. Just call it clipboard. clipboard window. What's that? So selection notify. If property and requester not equals. So isn't selection notify wait, why would the requester be our window here? Yeah, this I understand. No, I don't. So we get selection notify. We log requester, which I mean, I assume requester should be someone different, no? If not property or requester, not our clipboard window, then we block and transfer and going as false and continue. So this is that one. I'm a big fan of this type of calls. Yeah, why would selection notify here be our own? I mean here, why would it be our own window? Is this when we set the clipboard, we get like selection notify from our own window? Like what the fuck is this? So here, selection request. Out. Requester is requester. Yeah, so here it's like we get our window owner. If target text data. Yeah, oh. So it's basically I don't know. Let me actually close all of this setup. I don't need this anymore. Thank you, Kevin. You did well. By the way, I posted, like, I pushed the code with new resizing. So if you want to check it out, you can. And see if, you know, in native KWin it still flickers. I would assume it does. Most likely. But anyway. Time property get by native handle. You can copy paste into yourself. Ah, okay, I see. I mean, you can copy paste into yourself, but I would like shortcut it. It's just, I would handle like copy paste event by checking if I own the selection. before I even initiate all of this bullshit. And then I just paste the text, you know, so I like not gonna go through all of this sort of way. So I just don't go through here. Unless you have two different instances of the same application running, right? Like you have focus running twice and you want to paste from one instance to the other. No, Windows ID would still be different. So yeah, yes, you can paste from yourself, like to yourself, but I would definitely shortcut it in that case. It only makes sense, you know, for the purposes of dog fooding. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I just want to use this code path for my application as well, like to make sure it always works, stuff like that. Otherwise, yeah. Yeah, so it's basically if there's like if no property which is or you basically that's what you're doing, right? So if the incoming request is from the same window, from one of our windows, we just don't handle it at all. We will basically probably handle it in some other way. So yeah, this is like a shortcut, right? So just for me, like we don't handle selection request if it comes from one of our windows. It's like get by native handle. How is it working? Like that. Requester window equals get by native handle, and we do this. Have requester, or like we do requester window not equals. Oh, if it's not of. So wait. If this is not our window, then we return. But if it is our window, then we proceed. That's like weird. Or like requester window. Or not requester window. I guess that's the code. Then we continue. And then we do all of that. Type wanted void, type given u32. Huh? Okay, XX. XX to patronum clipboard clipboard. It's not global atoms, it's just atoms. Incoming data clipboard, like that. Blocking something. So let's set all of those. Inker, we don't have inker, I think so. I don't think so. Clipboard. XCB sync info is not a member because it's just sync info now. Oh God. So same stuff, right? If not clipboard window, or state not equals new value, or clipboard. Right, so where's get by native window handle? Basically the same shit. It's not requester window now. Now it's event window. If not. Like that, I guess. The event window and it's gonna be like handle, right? XCB. I mean, we could just do event window. It's the same shit. Global atoms. So this is clipboard atom. Incoming data, let's fix it. So this and this and this, and also this, and this is, should be clipboard and this. Procedure call did not match any possible overloads. The fuck? Incoming. Yeah, this should be a pointer. Right? Yes. So what do we have here? Clipboard window. Yeah, we don't really log it. It's not global atoms anymore, just atoms. Yeah, we don't have targets. So we need inker and atoms. Here. Where is inker? Here, inker, clipboard, and targets. Oh, I have inker, clipboard. So I just need, do I need to create targets? Oh yeah, sure. So I guess I'm gonna implement create flow. UTF-8 string. Where's the, yeah, here. So nodes here should create. Just literally copy that. I think that's literally it, right? Oh, not should create. Max request length is not a member. What is max request length? Oh, it's just a number. How do you initialize it though? Get maximum request length is during the initialization of the display. Okay. S64. And phew. It's after file descriptor. XCB get maximum request length handle. Clipboard outgoing data. So this is also that. Anything else? Outgoing data is not a member? How is it not a member? Oh, it's because it was separated by an empty line. So I didn't notice it. Notes. No, atom. Yeah. Hd handle. Anything else like that? No, I don't think so. Sref. Yev. Also, I haven't handled this properly. Got too lazy. Anything else? Okay, now we compile, and this will crash instantly as soon as I run it. Because, I mean, it probably won't, maybe it's not gonna crash per se, but I don't quite expect it to work. Because I haven't defined set and create. Yeah, so it kind of works. Sort of, kind of works. Oh, look at that. Yikes. I mean, we resize and find. So yeah, it kind of works. It compiles clipboard events. Isn't really getting handled, but all of that. So set and get clipboard, and particularities of input handling, or rather event loop handling, I will implement next time, because it's almost midnight and I have a work tomorrow. You know, 9 to 5, slaving out. So yeah, I'll probably not gonna push myself too late today, so I'm not too cooked tomorrow. So that's gonna be it from me. We got a better resizing. I'm surprised. I like barely yapped today. Because I'm not that tired, I guess. Or rather, I just knew what I want to do. And since resizing kind of went mostly smoothly, I was sort of more motivated. So who are we raiding? We can return the favor to Spherophoria. He raided me yesterday. Oh shit, and he seems like he has a new haircut. So that sounds cool. There's also Abner, who is working on term. Like Spherophoria, I can rate him, but he's doing really nice. He has a lot of viewers. Abner... he's like porting a website. Oh, and Sphero, yeah, he's working like on a mod for Balatro, so he's programming in Lua most likely. I mean Sphero, yeah. Sorry, I mix. Started mixing shit up. Maybe you can read someone else. Maybe someone new. There's Ockenheimer, who is creating Tetris for SNES or for NES. There's a cool guy, but he streams in Russian, so probably no point to in raiding him. Oh shit, there's Alan.
Party does not equal 0, I equals 0, I is less than repeats, I plus
Yeah, Alan is streaming. I'm reading Alan. Mr. Fourth Dimension. So creator of 4Coder, by the way. Yeah, let's rate him.
Party. That party.
Thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, but it depends on how the work week is getting started. Here's my social networks. Discord is where I post when I go live, and YouTube is where I archive my streams. And Twitter, I mean, you know, it's just for shit posts. I really appreciate all the company, all the help, especially Ilionte. One love for K-Win. The only thing I need to do now, well, not now, like later, is to clean up all of the KD stuff. Or maybe I should just switch to KD, you know, like KD is better anyway than everything else. Yeah. But yeah, be nice to Alan. I'll see you all. Bye.
Literal. And again, if ID is 0, okay, so all of that stays the same either way. This pulls out like this. Party, character, party, character, party, character. That's good. Hey, welcome, Valigo and Raiders.